What's up, everybody in YouTube land? This is Lucius, and I just thought I'd put a little video together talking about what's it like to own a motorcycle. Well, there's lots of things about owning a motorcycle that you might already know, and then there's some things that you might not have thought about if you don't already own one. First off, yeah, you definitely need to get a motorcycle endorsement on your license. Just because you can drive a car doesn't mean you can ride a motorcycle. So you do have to take different tests and prove that you can ride a motorcycle without crashing. So there's that. You got the extra expenses. You've got the expense of actually buying the motorcycle. Now you can pick up a nice used one. You can get one, you know, as a hand-me-down in your family or whatever. No matter how you get your motorcycle, if it's your first one, it's a very good idea not to get something too fast, too big, or too expensive. Kind of like the same thing with the car. You want to be able to learn what you're doing before you get something too powerful or too expensive that if you wreck, you're going to be out. And besides the cost of the motorcycle, you got the safety gear. Now, in most states in the U.S., you have to wear a helmet. Not every state, but most of them. Ohio is actually one of the states where you do not have to wear a helmet, or at least if you're over a certain age. I always wear a helmet, though. I think in my total life of riding motorcycles, there's only been twice that I rode without without the helmet, and I only remember one of them, and I was literally just going to a store to drop off a video, you know, back when I was still renting movies. So I recommend wearing a helmet, and then I also recommend other safety gear as well. Besides the safety gear of a helmet, I also recommend getting a jacket, whether it be mesh, textile, leather, some sort of extra protection, preferably with armor, that will protect you in the case of a crash. Most good jackets will come with at least the shoulder and elbow protection. Some of them come with like a foam pad for your back. They always recommend upgrading that to a higher level of protection. I did upgrade the back protector on my jacket. And what I'm wearing currently is a Revit Outback jacket. It's a 4-season jacket. It has 2 liners, I believe, that you can zip in and out for different weather conditions. And I like it quite a bit. It's not the best summer jacket, honestly. I'd like it to have a little bit better ventilation in the summertime. The point is, I wear it all the time, even when it's 90 plus degrees out. And it offers good protection. Besides that, gloves. You should always wear gloves. No turn on red, that sucks. Gloves are actually one of the cheaper safety items that you can buy. In fact, I have 3 different pairs of gloves because I'm always looking for something that I like a little bit better than the last one. And these are leather perforated. They have some armor in them as well, and they have actually been in one accident and barely even scuffed them up, and I'm still wearing them. Next on the list is shoes. I am wearing a TCX, I believe, riding boot. I love them quite a bit. Not only do they offer extra protection, but they even have like a Velcro strap that goes across the laces, so you don't have to worry about loose shoelaces getting caught in anything in the moving parts of the motorcycle. But another good thing to have is the shoes. Only thing I'm sort of lacking on is the proper pants. I do have one pair of riding pants that actually has armor in it and Kevlar, and they're still jeans, so they're not the full protection, but they offer a lot better protection than just your typical, you know, jeans that you get at the department store. So definitely, so you got extra expenses when you have a motorcycle. I always recommend wearing as much safety gear as you can afford. And every time I've bought new safety gear, I've always kind of upgraded and got something a little bit better than I had the last time. You have the maintenance on your motorcycle, whether it's cleaning and lubing the chain, doing oil changes, just your typical maintenance, the same kind of things that you would do on any vehicle really. And then there's all the aftermarket. Typically, if you buy a motorcycle, you're going to want to make it yours. You want to make it somehow a little bit unique to what you have versus what everyone else has. So whether it's you know, upgrading the exhaust, getting a different seat, mirrors, getting shorty levers, whatever, you're going to have extra expenses where when it comes to you know, doing upgrades for your motorcycle. So say a bike costs you know, whatever, $5,000, $10,000 or whatever, you should always plan extra money for the proper gear and pretty much know that you're going to want to buy other things for the bike. So it's an investment. And most of the things that you add onto the bike, you're not going to get your money back out of when you sell it. So besides that, what's it like to own a motorcycle? Well, it is a blast, of course. I mean, there's no reason to own a motorcycle if you don't enjoy riding. I love just the freedom of it. I love being out in the air, in the open. I feel like I'd feel even more in the open without a helmet on, but like I said, I like the safety. You actually get to be in the environment a lot more than in a car. You know, you're riding along, you can see things that you might not see in the car, you can smell things, you feel the temperature changes. I remember back riding through the mountains, just how much like the temperature could drop or go up 10 to 15 degrees just in a matter of minutes riding through some of the mountains on the Blue Ridge Parkway. So it's really cool. You do become sort of a meteorologist when you have a motorcycle, because you're always looking at the weather. You're always seeing, hey, is this going to be a good day to ride, or am I going to be stuck in my car? If am I going to get caught in the rain? Winter time comes, if you're in one of the more northern states, you got to worry about if you can, if your bike is suited for that kind of climate, if your tires are suited for rain or snow or whatnot. So you definitely start paying a lot more attention to the weather when you own a motorcycle. And there's the whole deal of carrying capacity. You don't have any space to carry stuff on most motorcycles. You know, there's the baggers and, you know, the full dress type motorcycles that have all the different cases on them and such. So really just depends on what you want to carry, how much you need to carry. I don't recommend a motorcycle as your only vehicle unless you're just in a perfect environment where that's possible. In most cases, you're going to find yourself at some point needing to carry more than what you can carry on a bike. You're too slow. I don't want to be stuck behind cars. That motorcycle's going so slow, I literally thought he was turning. That's another kind of cool thing about having a bike, is you have the camaraderie of bikers. You'll notice when two motorcycles pass, they'll generally give a little wave to each other. You know, whether it's just, you know, a couple fingers out, a lot of people put like 2 fingers down for like 2 wheels on the ground kind of thing. You know, it doesn't really matter what kind of wave you give, as long as you are just kind of cool and courteous to other motorcyclists. If I see a motorcyclist on the side of the road that looks like they may be having some sort of trouble, I usually pull over to check on them just to make sure that, you know, if they need help, I can help them. So that's cool. Another advantage to bikes, you do have bike nights at different places. I know like Quaker Steak and Lube often has bike nights. During the summer they have it every Wednesday. So that's cool, just gives you a chance to talk with other bikers and, you know, see what other people have done to their bikes and everything else. So it's not just a form of transportation, it's kind of a different group. It's a lifestyle, and it's something that you can enjoy even when you're not on the bike. That's another fun part of having a motorcycle, doing that. I love it. It's dangerous. It's juvenile, and I don't care. I mean, I do care to some extent. I don't want to wreck my bike, which is why I don't really get that high with my wheelies. And I make sure not to do it around, you know, a bunch of vehicles and stuff like that. You know, if I was to crash right there, the only thing it would hurt is me and the bike. But I try to do it in a reasonable way, staying within my skill level. And so far, knock on wood, I haven't looped a bike. Having said that, and the fact that there's not actually any wood to knock on, I will probably do that shortly. What's funny is when people say that they're going to get a bike to save money because, you know, they're so good on gas mileage and blah blah blah. The fact is, some bikes are not really that great on gas mileage. Some are definitely a lot better than others. What's funny about that is that typically the motorcycles that are best on fuel economy are the least likely to be a long-range touring type of bike. Things like dual sports and off-road bikes usually have really great gas mileage because they're small engines and lightweight. Things like the Honda Grom, can't even really take that on the highway unless you got one that has a speed limit around 50. So yeah, it's kind of funny, but like this bike, when I upgraded to a 1050 motorcycle, that's a 1050cc, I noticed my gas mileage is only about 35 to 40, which is still good. I mean, but there are cars that are actually better. And the fact is, most of the time I go riding, it is not a needed commute. It is not for any reason other than the fact that I want to go for a ride. Days like today, and most of the time when I go riding, especially when I'm vlogging, I don't even really have a destination. I just want to go and ride around. I had no plan when I started out 20 minutes ago to be at this location where I am right now. I'm just kind of going where the road takes me, and when you ride like that, you're going to use up gas that you don't really have to. You ride just for the enjoyment of riding. It has nothing to do with saving money on gas. So you might use that as an argument for when you're trying to convince someone else to let you buy a motorcycle, but in reality, no, you don't buy a motorcycle for saving money. But the number one reason, the best thing about having a motorcycle is just the pure enjoyment. So if you don't have one, go out and buy one, learn to ride, and enjoy yourself, and put up videos and send me links and I'll check them out. And if you're already on the bike, well then you already know all this stuff. So everyone out there, be safe, keep riding, and we'll see you next time.